Check out Tifo's new merchandise release. Visit shop.tifofootball.com.
It's that Tifo Football Show.
Me, I'm too close to this thing.
Starring JJ Blue and Alex Stewart. And your host, Joe Devine. The Tifo Football...
Aha, ye mateys, and welcome to the Tifo Football Show, the show in which we answer the questions that you have posed to us. Now, if you'd like to ask a question yourself, you can do that in the comments below the video, or indeed tweet us, or other means of contact. But today, let's find out what depths there are to plumage. It's the Tifo Football Show. Yes, lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, our first question comes from Essential Departure. Essential Departure asks, what is a foul throw? Do you want me to read all of this?
Well, he wrote it in. I think you owe him the duty.
As someone who grew up in Canada following hockey, I switched to English football 20 years ago. I never understood what constitutes a foul throw. That makes two of us. Essential Departure. I see players take throw-ins all the time with their feet on the field of play. Surely that should be considered a foul throw, correct? I rarely see that called. I feel it was worth reading all of that.
I agree.
Yeah. JJ, you answered that you investigated.
I've investigated what a foul throw is, because I really want to know. It's haunted me for many years. So I would first like to ask both of you, well, start with you, Joe, what do you think a foul throw is?
Well, as a young boy who spent many years on a farm, JJ, I know all too well what a foul throw is.
It's going to be a joke about chicken, isn't
And
it?
those birds, they didn't like it.
Alex, what do you think a foul throw is?
When you don't do that.
So it has to be thrown above your head, or like...
I think it has to be from starting there and then over the top, and you can't...
So the chicken can get takeoff?
You can't lug it at an opponent recklessly either.
Can't lug it in an opponent, no.
An opponent?
An opponent?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Enough of this! Let's find out.
For years, I've wondered why referees always think I've done a foul throw, when I'm pretty sure I've been doing exactly what the rules say all along. And how come in the big leagues I say foul throws go unpunished all the time? I decided enough was enough. It was time to investigate. The FA rulebook Law 15 was full of surprises. I needed help. I got my friend Dave to help. This is Dave. He's nice. The rules say, a throw-in is awarded to the opponent of the player who last touched the ball when the whole of the ball passes over the touchline on the ground or in the air. It's boring. A goal cannot be scored directly from a throw-in. These are all fine rules to follow. If the ball enters the opponent's goal, I don't care about this stuff. At the moment of delivering the ball, the thrower must stand facing the field of play. He cannot face the opposite direction. The thrower must have part of each foot on the touchline or on the ground outside the touchline. Not in front of, but behind the line. You can't put your foot in front of the line. Don't do that. It's not allowed. You must throw the ball with both hands from behind and over the head from the point where it left the field of play. You cannot do a spin move and throw it sideways. That's not allowed. All opponents must stand at least 2 meters from the point on the touchline where the throw-in is to be taken. I don't care about this one. The problem for me is when you lean forward, technically these rules say that that's absolutely fine. There's no rule that says you have to release it over your head. It doesn't say that anywhere in the rules. Can you see that in the rules? It doesn't say that anywhere in the rules. You put it behind your head, you throw the ball. That's not a foul throw. This is not a foul throw. This is a foul throw. This is a foul throw. This is Dave running after he scored a goal. This is me running after I scored a goal. Don't do foul throws. And if a referee tells you that's a foul throw, you know it's not. Because we see the rules here, and so even if you do it like this and it looks terrible, they can't give you a foul just because it looked bad. You have to remember that. Also, you can't throw the ball at someone on purpose with force, but you can do it gently, like this. And there I am scoring a goal. And there's Dave scoring a goal. And that's foul throws.
Oh, well, there we go. That's a foul throw, huh? Who knew that was a foul throw? Referees did.
Well, not all of them, because they often... So if you have done a throw which you think is valid and the referee says it's not, they're probably wrong, because I think that happens a lot because it looks bad. But also, you should not be abusive to referees. Don't do that.
No, you shouldn't do that.
No.
You know what else you shouldn't do, gang?
What?
Don't cook fish in the room with a door open next to the room in which you're hanging clothes.
When did you do that?
A few days ago, and my clothes definitely smell of fish. Definitely.
That's really basic household management.
I can tell you what it is. It's foul. You've been answered, I think. Next question comes from merch promotion. What are these, guys, these lovely t-shirts that you're wearing? What are absolutely fantastic. Well, we've got a Radio Muller there and a Terminator. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but these t-shirts are from the Literal Nicknames series that Tifo has released recently, that take players and their nicknames and make them literal.
This is Erling Haaland.
This is Thomas Müller.
This is Radio Muller. Well, anyway,
Bye.
where can you get them?
The shop.
shop.tifofootball.com. That's right. Head over to shop.tifofootball.com and immerse yourselves in the wonderful world of merch. Do it now. Link appearing. Dogball69. Dogball69 asks, how far do you have to go in the Europa League to win the same amount of prize money versus being in the Champions League? This is interesting, wasn't it? We hear lots of reports about this, Alex. Stewart, would you like to tell us kindly?
Yeah, so there's supposed to be a trickle-down effect, right, with the Europa League. One of the reasons that it was instituted was to spread UEFA's largesse wider across the football community. It's not really done that a great deal. The overall amount of prize money that UEFA make available to Champions League and Europa League teams, and indeed the conference, is €3.5 billion.
Oh, daddy!
Yeah, it's a staggering amount of money, and actually the Europa League prize money has gone up by 10% this season. But there is a massive, massive disparity. So entering the Champions League group stages gets you €15.64 million. Entering the Europa League group stages gets you a mere 3.63 million, which is 23% of what you get for the Champions League. There's also a big disparity in terms of winning and drawing. So you would earn €2.8 million for winning a game in the Champions League group stages. In the Europa League, it's only €630,000. So basically, the short answer is that if you were to get into the Champions League group stages and then win 2 games, just that, you would earn more prize money than if you won every single game en route to winning the Europa League. That would bag you €19.8 million. So that's every single game in the group stages and then all the way to winning the tournament as a whole. If you were to do that in the Champions League, you would get €85 million, and that's before television money comes in. So yeah, a massive disparity, and this is why teams that consistently do well in the Champions League, like Manchester City, for example, or PSG, or Juventus, well, maybe not so much this time, can entrench their position at the top of their respective domestic leagues because they get so much from doing that that they can basically buy anyone else out of the water.
The rich get richer. The rich get richer.
Yeah.
Kick down the...
The rich
Kicking
get
down the ladder, of course. Now, Alex, I walked past a house the other day, not far from mine. Very nice, backing onto a wood. And I looked online, how much would that house cost? £2.5 million. And then I did that thing, I walked home and sort of thinking, well, that's a lot of money, isn't it? But then spent 5 minutes thinking, how could I make that money? You know, I returned to crime, of course. But any thoughts on how I could...
win one Champions League group stage game.
That's all.
And you would be able to buy that house.
Well, I mean, based on my performance for Bayern Munich, I'm pretty sure I could...
This could happen.
I could score penalties. I could penalty my way to a brand new home.
It's in!
Next question. If the Scottish and English leagues were merged, where would Celtic and Rangers and Aberdeen realistically be placed? Now, this is an old favourite question, and this one comes in from Edward McNeil. Edward McNeil there. JJ, do you want to answer this one for me?
Yeah, and I'm going to use Football Manager to do it.
There's only one way to find out how Rangers and Celtic and Aberdeen would get on in the Premier League, and that is by editing them there in Football Manager. And so that's what I did. I put Aberdeen next to the best and I love them. Then I put Hearts and Hibs because they are the next biggest. And then Dundee United because they also won the league sort of recently in 1983. The first season did not start well for Aberdeen. 0 points from 6 games is bad. Although the other teams are faring slightly better. Hearts had already won 2 games with an opening day 1-0 shock victory over Liverpool. Could they ruffle the feathers of the Premier League and cause more upsets? The answer was no, because they were eventually relegated, along with Aberdeen and Dundee United. Despite being in a precarious position after 17 games, Hibs did somehow manage to survive, along with Rangers and Celtic, but survival alone wasn't enough for Ange Postecoglou, who was sacked. Celtic used their masses of Premier League windfall money in the summer to sign a 38-year-old striker and a 36-year-old left-back on a free. Aberdeen used their enormous parachute payment to buy Bailey Wright. I don't know who these people are. Perhaps the second season would be a better test of the old firm's finances and resolve. In fact, it might be better for everyone. Suddenly all the Scottish clubs were now rich. So rich in fact that Robert Prosinecki became the Aberdeen manager. Would he lead the glorious Dons to victory in the Championship? He would not. Aberdeen avoided a humiliating drop to League One, but Dundee United didn't. Hearts were fine. In the Premier League though, it was all kicking off. Celtic, now managed by Sean Dyche, were relegated to the Championship, while Rangers survived with the help of a big £55 million transfer spend. The Premier League money was starting to help. And as Season 3 began, Aberdeen still refused to spend any money on new players, and honestly, I was annoyed. It's not real life, I know it's a simulation, but it's annoying. But in real life, you can't skip to the end of the season like this, and discover that Celtic had dominated the Championship and been promoted back to the big league. Rangers finished 16th, which is alright. Let's have a look at how Aberdeen are getting on, for sake. Tony Mowbray. By the end of Season 4, Rangers and Celtic were starting to flex. It's a pretty good league table finish, and Celtic did it with Todd Cantwell and Scott McKenna. The other teams weren't doing very well, especially Dundee United, who are now trapped in League 1. But Aberdeen got promoted. Time to go on holiday again. And we're back for Season 5. Clubs have been spending money. Finances aren't quite so good now. Celtic narrowly avoid relegation. Season 6, and it's more of the same. The old firm are doing alright. The mighty Dons still in the Championship along with Hearts and Hibs. Dundee United are f***ed. Season 7, and there's a spanner in the works for Rangers. They've been relegated. They may have more Premier League money, but they aren't getting anything from Europe because they can't get into it. The other teams are still stuck in the Championship. Season 8, and Rangers are back in the big time after finishing 2nd. Celtic get a comfortable 13th and they're rich apparently, good for them. But Aberdeen are cruelly beaten by Sheffield United and denied Premier League football once more. Will we ever see them in the top flight again? Season 9, and now Celtic are relegated. What is happening? Who's in charge? Rangers finished 14th. There's not much point checking the other teams. Oh my god, Aberdeen are back, baby! And then at the end of Season 10, Aberdeen are relegated. Rangers finished 10th, which is the highest any Scottish club has managed this whole time. Celtic miss out on promotion. Dundee United are still in League 1. Hearts and Hibs are doing alright in the Championship. And so what we learned is that Rangers and Celtic wouldn't just walk into the Premier League and dominate. Even though in real life, I still think they do very well. Does that make this a pointless experiment? Only time can tell. But yes.
So it didn't go exactly as I thought it would. As we just saw the video, which we definitely have made before recording this bit. Conclusive proof there, either way.
Tooth and nail.
Oh.
Sorry, Scotland, I guess. Is the
Unless they did well. Which may also have happened.
They may have done.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know. Well, that's all. Thanks, Edward McNeil. You've been answered. Last question. Quad OG asks, if Liverpool had to replace their front three this summer, who would they bring in to reinforce their attacking depth? Now, JJ, I'm going to throw this one over to you. Question, they kind of already did this.
They did, and I'll show you what I mean by going to the board.
Please do.
Well, you see, the thing is, Liverpool already kind of have depth in their squad to replace any of these players anyway. So in Mane, Firmino and Salah, they have direct replacements in Luis Diaz, who's been amazing so far. He can play on the left or through the middle, probably the right as well. We've got him as a replacement. You've also got Diogo Jota, who's done very well covering or just actually replacing Firmino as one of the central forwards, more of a false nine, although he can play more off the shoulder of the last man. Great player, can play anywhere across the front. Mo Salah's kind of harder to replace because he's one of the best players in the world, like Mane was a couple of years ago. But they have right now Harvey Elliott, who is a very competent replacement, will get much, much better. He's very young, left-footed, right-sided forward, works very hard out of possession, very clever player, can also play midfield, he's got lots of options there. They've also got a bit of more in reserve, so you get players like Minamino who come on, Oxlade-Chamberlain can play anywhere across the front. Divock Origi is still there, and he's done good things for them. They've also got as youth player Cade Gordon coming through, who's already made some first team appearances. Now he's again a left-footed, right-sided forward, bit of a dribbly boy. Could be one for the future. Probably not ready to start just yet, but you've got things coming through in the background. Now, if we were looking at whether they were to lose Salah, Firmino, or Mane because the contracts run out or they get sold or something like that, you can bet they'll sign a similar profile of player. So when Mane was signed, he was 24 years old, he's now 29, or if it's in April you're watching it, he's 30. Mo Salah was 24, he's over here, and he's now 29 or 30 in June. And Roberto Firmino was 23, and I've worked out that he's 30 now, so he's aged more than the other ones. I'm not sure how my numbers work there. Ignore what I'm saying. But when they signed Diaz, 25, Jota, 25, that's the thing they're doing. They're signing players who are just coming into their peak, so you get 4 or 5 years out of them in their contract. So maybe when you're 29, 30, their physical attributes might not be quite as good as they once were, like speed, acceleration, things like that. That might be what you lose. And that also comes into effect when you think about how Klopp's teams play really high pressing, gegenpressing, lots of work rate, which is why if you look at possible replacements for someone like Salah, were he to be sold or leave on a free, take Elliott and Salah over here. So here's some possible examples if we're doing a sensible transfers job on it. Jared Bowen has been linked a lot with Liverpool. He's for West Ham, you might think it sounds silly, but his numbers are incredible, especially his chance creation and his work rate off the ball, pressures, tackles, things like that. He'd be a perfect Klopp player. He's probably not a world top tier player like Mo Salah, but maybe with a step up, who knows? It's an option. Then Rafinha, really good player, like places like Barcelona could possibly come in. Again, the work rate comes into question, whether he'd be the right one for there. Ousmane Dembele, exactly the same sort of thing. Incredible player, technically gifted, dribbly boy, as we well know. Contract rebel at Barcelona. Would he do the work off the ball for a Klopp team? Maybe. Then Anthony's a bit of a wild card. He's a boy that plays for Ajax, Brazilian left-footed, right-sided forward. Another possible replacement. But they've got Salah there, meant to be looking at new contracts, things like that. Every chance he'll stay and be there for many years. He could well be as good as he is now when he's 33. So I wouldn't worry that they're going to have to replace anyone if anything goes wrong, because they have strength and depth already with what they have available on the bench, and the players already pushing for first teams. And that's what you have. You sign someone for a lot of money right now, it means one of these doesn't get a game straight away, and you can't really keep players as good as these happy if they're always on the bench, and there's too much competition is a bad thing, basically. So that's it. That's what Liverpool have, and that's what's going to happen. And I hope that answers your question.
Cave Gordon.
Cade, not Cave.
I mean, some good points there, JJ. Did you want to echo any of those there, Alex?
I'd echo all of them emphatically.
Echo. Do you know ducks can echo? The quack.
What do you mean they can echo?
Well, there's a thing where the ducks can't. If a duck quacks in a tunnel, it doesn't echo, but it does. Have you ever seen that?
No, I've never heard it. Are you making this up?
No, it's not true. Ducks. Put a duck in a tunnel, you'll see.
Much like a bat.
Put a bat in a tunnel.
You can't hear a bat's echo.
No, but they can.
Well, yeah, but it's different. They're always in a tunnel.
Sounds like you can't hear the duck's echo.
But he's saying you can.
Humans can hear it, or ducks can hear it themselves.
I'm not sure it matters. You can't hear ducks. You can't hear a duck in a tunnel. You can hear a duck in a tunnel, and you hear a bat, but not the echo.
You've been answered! Well, there we go. That's the end of the show there. Thanks for tuning in. And if you'd like to ask us a question on a future show, you can do so in the comments below the video or by other messaging means. But for now, JJ Bull, thank you. And Alex Stewart, thank you.
Thank you.
Shop.tifofootball.com. See you next week. Bye.
What a great t-shirt.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
You can now check out Tifo's latest merchandise drop, where you can get these beautifully illustrated literal nickname t-shirts, such as Radio Muller, Pirlo the Metronome, or Harry Kane the Hurricane, and more. They also make the perfect gift for any football fan. So visit shop.tifofootball.com now, and thanks for watching.